Can anyone hear me? Hello? Okay. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, amazing sisters. Before we begin today's session on eco-friendly farming practices, let's take a moment to connect heart to heart. I don't know if, the chat box is active, so you can actually drop your response because I want us to reflect a little. I want to drop an icebreaker. So the question is, what is one thing you are growing in your life right now, or on your farm, in your family, or even in your heart? So I would read a few responses I can see from the chat before I introduce the topic for the day. What is one thing you are growing in your farm, in your life, in your family, or in your heart? Let's hear it. Just one line. I'll read a few out loud as they come in. Bismillah. I'm not seeing our responses, so hello? Okay, let's continue. This session is more than just planting seeds in the soil. It's about planting values. That was why I brought that quick icebreaker. Planting values like sustainability, faith-driven care for the earth, and resilience, because that is what eco-friendly farming practice is about. When we reflect on what we are growing, it naturally bridges this gap of eco-friendly practices that nurture both the land and people. Well, I welcome you all to this masterclass titled Eco-Friendly Solutions for Women Farmers in Nigeria. My name is Zainab Adebesho, and today we will together explore practical, low-cost ways to farm sustainably in ways that preserve our land, improve our harvest, and align with our values as Muslim women.
Assalamu alaikum. Our speaker is frozen. She's having network issue. Oh, let's wait for her a bit and then we continue.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, welcome back.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I was talking about the effect of many of our farming practices that we used to have. So I did you hear me until when I talked about illness caused by chemicals and unsafe food? I don't know if you heard me up to that point.
No, 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 no. You were long gone, like
Oh,
for
really?
for a while now, for almost 5, 6 minutes.
Wow, subhanallah.
So we
Okay,
only
so
got
let me
to
just so where did you get me to? Where did
the,
you get me
the
up
last
to?
the last I got was your introduction after the icebreaker.
After the icebreaker. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I said we should begin with an hadith that grounds our conversation.
You are frozen again.
Sister Zainab, you're frozen again. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. All right then. Thank you. So I said the why eco-friendly farming matters. Let me just do a quick recap. Because of the input cost, the rising input cost, the poor soil, it no longer yields like before, the change in rain patterns due to climate action, and the illness caused by excessive chemicals and unsafe food. So this is a call for us to return to our natural, affordable, and community-based solutions. We should try to use what Allah has given us to grow what we have to grow, to do things we have to do. So that is why we should farm in an eco-friendly manner. So what is eco-friendly farming? Eco-friendly farming is using what Allah has created for us already. We should use it wise and renewably. Renewably in the sense that we should make it in a way that we are able to use and use again, not something we use and dispose. In eco-friendly farming, nothing is a waste.
Okay, our speaker has network glitch. She was talking about how eco-friendly farming is not a waste and how it is beneficial. It is beneficial to the environment. Sister Zainab, can you hear me?
I'm trying to change my location.
Okay.
I'm trying to change my location. Probably the location is affecting the network.
Okay.
So please, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on.
Hello?
We can hear you,
Am I
Sister
audible?
Zainab.
Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm
Yes,
so
can
sorry
say.
this is happening, but I don't even understand because I'm going on two networks and both is giving issue. So let's continue. So I said why eco-friendly matters. I think I've discussed that. I don't know if you heard it to that point. Then what eco-friendly farming is. Like we have to use everything we have. We use it in a renewable and sustainable manner. Like we continue using it. There is no waste in eco-friendly farming. You don't throw things away. You reuse until it degrades. So using natural fertilizers like compost, like organic fertilizers, like manure, and kitchen waste, yes, to fertilize your soil. You grow in ways that regenerate the soil. You don't just take out of it. You put things that will go back into it in form of plants, growing plants. You eliminate waste and you conserve water. I said water conservation is very important in eco-friendly farming. So it's basically working.
Sister Zainab, I think her network is frozen again. Network issues. So Sister Zainab was still talking about eco-friendly farming practices, how nothing is a waste and how everything can be reusable. Sister Zainab, are you back? Are you with us?
I'm with you. Am I frozen
Okay.
again?
Yes, you've been frozen
Oh
for
my God.
a minute
What's
now.
happening?
But you can continue. So you were talking about why eco-friendly practices and
So you didn't hear me up to composting?
no. You've not even
Hi.
started listing the points.
Oh my God.
I thought it's quite
Okay. I don't know
easy
what's wrong with network. I'm using both MTN and Airtel. I don't know. So I talked
to.
about why eco-friendly, what eco-friendly farming is. That's what I talked about before composting. So I said eco-friendly farming is using what Allah has given us wisely and renewably. Like we use things in our environment to improve the condition of our crops, the condition of our soil. So we use natural fertilizers like compost instead of chemical fertilizers. We grow in ways that regenerate the soil. Please, if you can't hear me, let me know quickly. I may not get to see the chat box immediately. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We are with you. Hey, I think she has logged out. Let's give her a minute. So she was talking about using what Allah has given us to enrich the soil, using natural fertilizers instead of chemicals, using welcome back, Sister Zainab.
It just went
Okay,
off. Everything just went off just like that. I don't know what's happening. Oh. I think it's the network too.
okay. Welcome back. So you were talking
Thank
about
you.
using what Allah has given us to enrich the soil, using organic composting, not using chemical fertilizers and all.
Okay, so I started what organic composting was before I went on the first. I don't know if you heard it up to that point. Did you hear it up to that point? Organic composting, how to make compost. Oh my God. Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you. We can hear you, Sister Zainab. Please go on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I said composting is turning waste into wealth. So it's using your food peels, your animal droppings, and dry leaves. So I said it is green matter, dry matter to make it understand it quickly and remember as fast as we can. So green matter is anything you can get from your farm that is fresh, or anything you can get from the environment that is fresh. So it's like saying green grasses, food residues, like the peels of beans, food residues like that. But what we should avoid in making compost is we should avoid food that has salt and food that has oil. It brings disease and other harmful microorganisms to your compost pile, and it may thereafter cause havoc when you apply them on the crops you have planted. So we should avoid salts and oil in our compost pile. So quickly, green matter, you put your fresh farm residues, fresh grass, fresh.
Sister Zainab, we are frozen again. Sister Zainab, you are still frozen. Okay,
How about now?
it's better. You're back now.
Okay, thank you. So I said you have to use your grey matter first. If it's wet, you don't sprinkle water. If it's dry, you sprinkle water. So after that, you put your dry matter. The dry matter is the brown grasses, the ones that are dried. You can use the dirt you pick out from beans. You can put it in it too. That is dry. So any degradable substance you can get in the environment that is dry. So basically, the things you need for your compost are food peels, like banana. Okay, you can use banana peels too for the fresh matter. It is wet and soft. It can degrade easily. Then for the dry matter, if you want to use animal droppings for your dry matter, it has to be animal droppings that are dried already, that are dried. It is not wet, it is not smelling. It should have been put in a place for a very long time and all the water should have been dehydrated, should have been removed. So you dig a pit and you put all of those gray matter fresh.
Sister Zainab, yes, you're frozen again. So Sister Zainab is talking about organic composting. That is using things from our house, our kitchen, like leftover foods, banana peels, um, orange peels, and animal dung. So Sister Zainab, are you back with us?
Am I could hear you all along. That's the funny thing. I could hear you all along. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Oh, they
Can you hear me
just
now?
take it. I can hear you now.
Okay, so I said when you store all those things in the pit, in the pit you have dug, so you turn once or twice every week, and in 4 to 6 weeks, what you should have is your dark, completely dark, like it's like soil, it's just like soil, but it's soft, just like sand, and it's completely dark. So how you just apply it is you apply it on your crops just by the side of the plants. So that's how you apply compost. No need for excessive fertilizers. And even if you don't have the stress of making a compost, you can actually put these things on your soil just like that. But that takes like about 2 to 4 weeks before you see the effect. Probably when you are not farming or when it's not the cropping season, when the rains have not started, you can start to dump all of these things on your farm. So by the time the rain comes, everything would have decomposed and the land is back to life already. So that's that about composting. Then for animal dung, yes, you don't apply fresh animal dung to your agricultural produce, like maybe the chickens, their fresh poop. You don't apply it directly. At least you have to leave it for 8 weeks to decompose. It has to be free from smell. It has to be free from smell. Am I still frozen?
I can hear you. I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, someone sent a notification that I'm frozen. All right then. So it has to be free from smell. The animal dung has to be free from smell before you apply it to your farm. So that's that about composting. Then I said we should not always take we should not always take out from the field, from the soil. We should try to return it back. Whatever we are taking, we should try to return it back. So that's where intercropping and crop rotation comes in. Intercropping, crop rotation, and cover cropping. They are methods of regenerative agriculture. Intercropping, crop rotation, and cover cropping. So first off, let's discuss intercropping. Intercropping is you are having more than one crop on the field at the same time. you are having more than one crop on the field at the same time. So let's say the ones we popularly know here in the tropics, like in Nigeria and tropical region generally, is they will say they are planting maize and cassava. But in all of the principles of intercropping, it is actually wrong. It doesn't follow the four principles because they are principles. You cannot plant the, so that is where eco-friendly agriculture comes in. You cannot plant the same type of crop that takes nutrients from the soil at once. Okay, let's say now we are planning to plant maize on the soil. We know maize is the heavy feeder of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now we are bringing in cassava. Though cassava can survive on hardy plants, as people say, but on fertile soils, cassava do better. They do very well on fertile soils. So we should not, it is not totally wrong, but it is better to use melon and cassava or melon and maize, because melon is a kind of nitrogen fixer. It fixes nitrogen in the soil. So that nitrogen the maize is taking, it is restoring it back in the soil. It is not just taking, okay, it takes a large amount of potassium and phosphorus, but at least the nitrogen is not going up, it is storing it. And nitrogen is one of the most essential nutrients. Crops feed very high in nitrogen, so it's one of the most essential. So melon returns it. Crops like groundnuts too does that. Crops like beans. So whenever we are intercropping, we should try to check all of these principles. Okay, I hope it's not that I am planting um maize with another heavy feeding. Some people plant maize and yam. It's what it does to the soil is it makes the soil get weak faster. It makes the soil lose nutrients faster. It keeps it less fertile for the subsequent cropping season. It is not regenerating anything. It is not giving back to the soil. So if you try to plant nitrogen fixing legumes, legumes are mostly nitrogen fixing with cereals. Or even if you can't plant legumes, we should not plant heavy feeding heavy feeding crops. Crops that are heavy feeding on nutrients, we should not mix them with crops that another heavy feeding crop. That's it. So we can incorporate maize with vegetables sometimes. So vegetable doesn't stay long on the farm, so you can spray your seeds, and before the end of 6 weeks you can harvest. So it doesn't take too much from the soil, although it doesn't fit, but at least it doesn't take too much from the soil with what the in fact at the important part that the maize is taking the nutrients from the soil, the vegetable is gone already. The maize takes nutrients when it is at the grain filling period, and that's about 8 weeks. So you would have harvested your vegetables at that point. So that's what regenerative, that's what intercropping is. Then for crop rotation, we should endeavor to change the crops we plant year after year. And at that, we should plant yam followed by a leguminous crop the following year. Let's say we planted yam in 2019. In 2020, we should not say we want to plant maize again, because it will still feed as much as the yam has taken. So after planting yam, you plant melon. After planting melon, you can bring in cassava. After cassava, you can bring in groundnuts. After groundnuts, you can bring in maize. After maize, you can bring in soya bean. So you do it year after year in such a way that when one is taking up some particular nutrients from the soil, the other one is coming to fix those nutrients back in the soil. So that's about crop rotation. Therefore, cover cropping. For some of us that have erosion issues, we have issues with erosion, we have issues with um high bulk density. High bulk density is when the soil is very, very hard. When the soil is very hard, you can do cover cropping. Like cover cropping is crops that they have broad leaves and they are not erect. They are like creeping, so they can cover the soil with their leaves. Melon is still an example, so we can plant that to restore the soil. Although we may not get a lot of yield from that, but by the time we harvest and the leaves, we won't take the leaves with us, just the seeds or the fruits we are to harvest. By the time we would harvest, we would have the seeds to take home. We may not get as much yield as we expect, but at least the leaves that will be incorporated into the soil will bring forth more nutrients for the soil. So that's that about cover cropping. Then let's talk about
Okay, Sister Zainab, can you hear me? I think your network has frozen again. Okay, let's give you a minute. So Sister Zainab was talking about the one sustainable eco-friendly farm practices, cover cropping, which helps to manage erosion. So if you are farming on a land that is prone to erosion, so you can consider cover cropping crops. Okay, Sister Zainab, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? I could hear you all along. You are the one that can. I could hear you. Okay, so
Okay,
I was talking about natural pest control methods instead of buying insecticides. These insecticides are harmful. They have residues. Some of them have lead in them, and most of the time, these manufacturers place a control on it that when you use it, you should not sell the produce for 2 weeks. But because our own farmers cannot waste, they need the money now, and they don't want another insect to invade it. They either use the overdose. First off, the thing is harmful. Secondly, you are using something that is too much than you are supposed to use, and it's even harmful. So it's like bringing more harm than good. So instead of using all of those insecticide or all of those pesticides on your farm, there's something they call neem as a director indica. Neem is a tree. There are commercials that sell the oil, they extract the oil and use it as pesticides, but it's actually something we can do ourselves. If we need a quick pesticide from neem, we can get the leaves. It is, I don't know if some of us here understand Yoruba. It is dongoyaro in Yoruba. The tree is kind of common around us. So you get the leaves, you get abundance of it, oftentimes in ratio 2 to 1. If you have 2 parts water, 1 part neem, 2 parts water. Like if you have a handful of neem, you get equal of 2 handful of water to that. So you blend it. If we don't have access to a blender, we can use our hand to squeeze out the juice into the water. So we do it in a way that it will have to extract all of those things. If we know we can't squeeze it well, it's better to blend. And if we know we can't do that, maybe we should get more leaves to squeeze out than not doing it well. So we get the leaves, squeeze out the water, then sift it, like you pour it in a sieve, then sift the water out, and you spray it directly on your crops. Why there is a measurement for it is because the this neem we are talking about can be harmful, not when you are taking it in, but it can be harmful to your plants. If you use too much neem on your plants, it will burn. I actually have a personal experience with it with one of the schools I'm working with at Edu Cultivate. It will burn the leaves will turn yellow. Like it's either you are applying it too much or you have applied an inappropriate ratio. So that's about neem. You blend it and or you soak it. Yes, I was talking about if you wanted a quick use. If you don't want a quick use, you can soak it in water 2 to 3 days. You just harvest the neem leaves. You soak it in water, 2 parts water to 1 part neem. You soak it in water for 2 to 3 days. By the time you open wherever you have stored this that you have added water, in fact, you may not be able to withstand the smell because it smells just like all of these pesticides that we used to use. It smells just like that. The smell is so strong. So you apply it directly on your plants too. In fact, if you apply neem today, you can harvest your crops tomorrow to eat it. There's no need to wait. You don't have to wait. Because even some people that do all of this healing, they use these leaves for healing to prepare herbs and all of that. So we can use your neem leaves, 2 to 3 days, soak, strain, and spray. But if you can't do that, if you can't wait, maybe the insects are attacking a lot, you just get the neem, blend immediately, sieve it out, and apply the juice on your farm. So another one, neem is actually safe. It's safe for the environment, it's safe for animals, it's safe for the community, safe for the earth. It's not The strong smell doesn't mean that it is actually bad or it is actually harmful too. So it's completely safe. Then okay, for some of the things for some of the other things we can use, let's talk about garlic. So garlic, I don't know if it will not be too expensive for us. Garlic is all of these small onions, kind of peppery. You blend it, the same measurement, 2 parts garlic to 1 part neem. 2 parts garlic to 1 part neem. Please give me a few seconds, please. So garlic is more expensive than neem. You don't need to soak garlic. You blend it immediately. In fact, you can't soak it. You blend it, 2 parts water to 1 part garlic. You blend it, mix it with water, mix it with another 1 part water. So it becomes 3 parts water, 1 part garlic. But you blend after mixing.
Sister Zainab, you are frozen again.
So you blend with, sorry, my children are really disturbing. So
Okay,
you
okay.
blend with 2 parts water, 1 part garlic, 2 parts water. If you are using a tin of garlic, you blend with 2 tins of water. Then after blending, you apply another 1 tin. So that leads to 3 parts water, 1 part garlic. But for the neem, you don't mix again after blending with it. You don't have to mix again. But for the garlic, it's important you do it because it is very, very strong. It is very, very strong. So one other thing is, if we can't do this thing, there is something we call marigold. This is a kind of companion planting. So when you plant marigold, you don't have to worry about insects eating your farm, because that marigold automatically repels insects. It's a kind of plant that has yellow flowers on it like this. So the picture is also in the PowerPoint. When I share the PowerPoint, I hope all of us can see it. So that's what we call companion planting in eco-friendly farming. So whenever you plant that thing, automatically insects does not come, because the scents repel insects. If you also plant oregano, although oregano does not repel some kinds of insects, but even without harvesting it, just holding the leaf of oregano, the scents automatically repel some insects. So when you have it on your farm too, it's a kind of companion planting measure. When you have it amidst it is also beneficial for you. There are herbs and spices we can use to make our food more delicious. So you don't have to worry about insects eating your leaves, or insects eating your vegetables on the farm, or even your maize or anything. So that's companion planting, planting marigold beside your vegetables. They repel pests naturally. It is safe for the children, for the animals, and for the environment. So let's talk about water conservation technique. This is very, very important, especially that we are Muslims. It is very important we learn how to conserve water, because it is becoming increasingly scarce. It's because we actually have access to it in our homes when we go out. That's why we are not getting the effects. For some of us that work on the field, that work with children, when the places they used to get water from 2 years ago, they don't get water from it again. It's either they say the well has dried up, or the people that are opening the well for the river has dried up. People that are opening their well are no longer opening it. So this is to tell you that water is becoming increasingly scarce. So whenever we plant, what I do personally in my home garden is I mulch, especially the tree crops. I mulch them. I try to get grasses. Okay, I cut fresh grasses, probably weeds, or whenever I weed the farm, I just pack the grasses together. I let them dry up a little. After drying up, I just put it at the roots, at the sides of my tree, or whatever it is. I did it for my ugu also. So like that, when you wet today, you don't have to wet, excuse me, you don't have to wet every day. You can wet today and wet next week, because the sun is not directly shining on at the base of your plant. The sun is not reaching the base of your plant, so it will not take as much water as it used to take. So mulching is getting grasses, allowing them to dry up a little, and put it round the roots of your plants. Then one other thing they use for mulching I've tried it out, but on a very small scale because it can be expensive, is corn cobs. They sell corn cobs now. They sell it, organic corn cobs. That's what they call it. They pack it and sell it. So when you pour them on your field, like maybe you have crops on your field and you pour them, corn cobs does not only prevent sun from reaching the soil directly. Corn cobs like repel the color. I think it's because of the color, because it has a kind of white color. So it repels the sun back. The soil does not get to even absorb the heat at all. So it conserves more water compared to just using dry grasses at the root of your crops. It's good when you are planting vegetables. When you are planting crops that are not tree crops or that doesn't have a singular base root system. So you can use corn cobs if it's not so expensive or if it's very accessible. Then one other thing we can do is, if we know we have been having issue wetting our soil and we can't be consistent with it, because consistency too can be a burden in water conservation. So if you know you can't keep up with the consistency, one thing you do is, we call it drip irrigation bottles. We practice it in schools that I work with, primary schools, because they might be busy sometimes, especially when they are writing exams and tests. They don't go to the field to do anything. So we just get table water bottles or Pepsi bottles, any pet bottle you can have that is plastic. So you get it right with the cover. So you put water in it, you dig the side of your plants. Maybe you have maize, but that is just time consuming. But because we work with kids, it is fun for them and they can do it easily. You get the bottles, you put water in it, and you pierce a hole at the side, just small tiny holes at the side, at the tip of the cover, at the tip of the cover. So you put it there, you dig a hole just beside your plants, and you put the bottle, you like invert it. You invert the bottle, will not stand upright, it will be inverted because you have pierced the hole at the head. There's a picture, I took a picture and it's in the PowerPoint also. So you just invert the bottle just beside your crop. So when you do that, the water just comes out a little. So you can have, if you have a 75 cl bottle that you have placed, that water can run for a week beside the plant and the plant doesn't get stressed. We have done it for pepper and it is very, very good. Deep drip bottle drip irrigation is very effective. So you don't get to use lots of water for wetting. In fact, if you have been wetting your crops yourself, that bottle water drip irrigation is more conserving than even wetting the plant yourself, because the water will be getting directly to the roots of the plant, just directly, and it's not coming like a force. It's just like 3 drops per minute, 3 drops per minute. So it lasts up to 5 to 6 days sometimes. And you check occasionally, maybe after 2 weeks, if sand has not clogged the holes that you have pierced on the bottles. So that's drip irrigation method. So for some of us, I get questions oftentimes. I don't have soil to plant. We are aware too that a lot of people are using containers for planting. I don't know if you are aware about raised beds. So let's discuss urban and small space gardening. Urban and small space gardening. So if you don't have land, I personally don't encourage the use of tires. Or I've seen it and I've practiced it firsthand. When you use tires, by the time you start to harvest your crops and you come back to use the tire again, you see that the soil has been black, like it will turn black, kind of. I don't know if it's the effect from the rubber that has been used for the tire. I don't know. I've not really, but since then, since I noticed that, I've stopped using tires and I stopped encouraging it. I don't like people to always use it because we don't know what that meant. The soil is not supposed to turn black. So it's not supposed to turn black. So tires make it turn black, kind of. So I don't encourage the use of tires. But you can use sacks. You can use sacks of feed, sacks of rice. But one thing is, you have to keep putting in the sack. Unlike the soil, the sack is kind of limited. Is You can't do much. One, and it loses nutrients fast. By the time you plant yam in a sack for 1 year, you will see how bleached the soil will look. So moreover, there are some certain crops you cannot even plant in it. Like they say they can do it, but practically, if you do it, it's just like a waste of time because you won't get the yield you are supposed to get when you plant on the soil. So sack gardening is limited and you have to put back. Whenever you are doing sack gardening, you would put kitchen waste from your, by the time you are not using the sack, I advise that you have a as much sacks as possible filled with soil, and you don't put it where the sun will begin to shine from. I don't know if it's the east or west now. Where the sun begins to shine from, you don't put it there because too much sun will allow the sack to degrade very fast. So you put it in a place that probably the sun sets in, because definitely the plant needs soil. Nobody is disputing that, but you should not allow it to be so harsh on it. So you put it where the sun is setting. Probably you have a fence, you can put it at the area of the fence where the sun always sets, not where it always rises from. Because if it's rise from there, the sun goes to the zenith, it's still on it, then it comes back and it's still there, some rays are still getting to it. So it will allow the sack to get weak very fast and the soils can start pouring out even when you about to harvest your crop. So you place it where the sun is setting. Then afterwards, you put in your waste, kitchen waste, any waste you get, any waste that you can think of that is degradable, always put it in your sack whenever you are not cropping. You can just dig a small part in it, maybe by the side, and keep pouring those kitchen waste. So when you're about to plant, you just mix everything up. It would have decomposed and you just plant. So that's that about sack gardening. Then raised beds gardening. That is, if you really want to invest in raised bed gardening for vegetable, it's really, really worth it. It's really worth it because small pack of seeds of vegetable, maybe about 200 naira or 400 naira, you will eat vegetables throughout the year. I mean, throughout the year. I don't buy vegetables throughout the year. And I don't have it, though I don't do sack gardening. I have a small garden space behind my home where I plant vegetables. So, and in fact, we don't buy seeds again. We'll actually still talk about how to make seeds here. I think we are running out of time. So we plant in tires, sorry, not planting tires, sorry, please don't. We plant in old buckets, plant in um, raised beds. So I was talking about how to make raised beds. So for raised beds, maybe if you have your floor cemented, you just get planks of wood, planks. So you like put it in a four corner, like you are constructing a four corner space. So there will be a large square hole in the middle. So you can just place that plank down, the one you have constructed, in a four corner shape. So you fill it with soil, loamy soil preferably. You fill it with soil, then you pour your vegetable seeds. Raised beds are so perfect and they are beautiful for your homes. Raised beds are so beautiful. I have a picture of one I set up for someone in the slide also. So raised beds are very, very beautiful. You can put that in front of your home because the plants are looking so nice now and just filled with soil. You see your vegetables growing very fast. It is faster because you filled it with soil. It's not a soil that's compacted. So the soil is loose. And whenever the soil is loose, it's always very fast in growing crops. So in about 4 to 6 weeks, start to harvest whatever vegetables you have planted in a raised bed. So raised bed is very good for vegetable farming. In fact, you can eat and sell from your raised bed. You can eat and sell from your raised bed farming. If you don't have a large family, yes, I can say it. You can eat and sell from it. So you just get a four corner plank, as I've said, make a square hole, put it on the ground and fill with soil, and you plant your vegetables. So let's talk about saving seeds for sustainability, saving seeds, seed saving. Sometimes getting seeds can be burdensome. You may feel like, "Ah, I'm not going to the market, why do I have to do this?" And you keep forgetting. How about you making those seeds yourself? It doesn't cost you anything. In fact, it doesn't cost you to wet. It doesn't cost you to do anything to it. You don't need to fertilize it. One thing about making seeds is, okay, if you know that this particular plant, okay, like when I plant now, I leave a few stands. When I plant okra, I still have okra in my home garden where I will just leave one stand. So out of that one stand, I have three okra fruits, three okra growing fruits. So when I leave it there, the leaves will fall off, the leaves on the okra plants will fall off, and the okra will dry up. It will completely dry up. The fruits will turn completely brown, or should I call it carton color. So like that, the seeds are ready. They are seeds that way. You can't eat it. In fact, there's a stage okra grow to that you can't eat it. It becomes very hard. So when you have that kind of okra on your field, just keep it aside for seeds. Just keep it aside for seeds. Put it there. No need to wet. Whether or not you wet it, it will still. And oftentimes you do that when the rain is getting to an end. If you have an open space, if it's not somewhere you wet, you do it when the rain is coming to an end. You leave it there, allow it to grow. Same for ewedu, same for amaranth, same for celosia. You just leave one stand of each of these plants, and that one stand will suffice you for the next plant. In fact, I dashed out okra from my last year seed production, and I had just three. But the three, they are very big. They are very, very big. So I used just one. I gave out two. So we just leave few stands. Just one stand is even enough. Just one stand is enough in out of each of the crops. And for ugu, pumpkin, the pod, yes, the pod. If you open some pods, you can find as much as 200 sometimes. Sometimes you find 100. Some people find 50 if it's not so big. I advise that you plant them as seedlings immediately, because it can even serve as a way of generating income. I remembered when I had a very should I say, a very big ugu plantation in my house. Like the ugu was becoming a nuisance. And my husband was threatening to cut everything off. And I felt like, all of this, you want to cut it off. And I just called one woman to come and pack everything, and she gave me 6,000 naira. Like, that's even because I'm not willing to put a price on it. So all of these things, just small home garden. My home garden is not up to 10 meters by 10 meters. It's not even up to that. I think it's about 5 meter by 5 meter, because it's just a square place. It's actually where we put our water tank. So even when we pump water and I don't wait for a while, the water from there will drop. So it's not even big, and I can sell from it if I wish. I can eat. Though I don't sell the ugu pods, I give it out to people and we use it in schools where we do our gardening programs. But I am certain that if anyone wants to sell those pods to you in the market, they sell it's more than 5,000. In fact, they said if it's up to two, if it's a very big pod, they sell about 15,000 naira. And it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you to buy fertilizer. It doesn't cost, just plants. If rain falls, wet. If rain doesn't fall, wet. If rain falls, leave it. So it's really, and it even gives you rest of mind. You don't have to worry about urban sustainable agriculture. You don't have to worry about, I don't know what I want to eat this night. Okay, if you have a few pepper, you have a few pepper stands. A pepper plant can produce up to 500 naira pepper. Like one particular stand can produce a pepper that they can sell about 500 naira. So if you have just one stand, I remember when I planted pepper and it didn't even grow so well. That one stand used to sustain us, like to fry eggs on our weekends. And we are a family of five. So you should try to look at what it is giving us. And that's just one stand. So urban farming, you don't have space is not a point. Like that you're not involved in farming. You should be scared of what they are selling to us. I'm trying to round up now. You should be scared of what they are selling to us. You don't know where they are bringing it from. I don't buy vegetables. Sometimes you see some ewedu plants, ewedu leaves, they are as big as, you don't know what they have applied. I'm not saying they should not be big. The one I have on my field too, they are big, but not as wide as some you see them. And you'll be wondering that for how long have they been keeping this? Why have it come so big like this? You buy beans sometimes and you won't see weevils on it for more than 6 months. You should be scared. All of these things should bring fear into you to at least try to produce yourself. You try to grow food yourself. You try to do things yourself. I actually I put a picture of one of the field in one of our schools, one of the schools I work with. When we got to that school, the soil was completely bad. Even the head teacher was saying, I don't know. He has tried to establish a plantain plantation. It's actually a public school. So he tried to establish plantain, and the things dried up because the soil was hard, the bog density. So when we came, he said, you don't know what we will do, but this soil is not, it doesn't bring forth. You need to see when we planted maize, ewedu. In fact, till now, the students are still harvesting ewedu. You need to see the maize. I actually attached a picture. So for someone saying, the soil in my house is bad, there is nothing to do with it, you can restore, you can regenerate, you can revitalize, you can do a whole lot of things with what Allah has given us. Put it at least you will not spend so much on fruits. You will not spend so. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You were frozen for a bit.
Can you hear me now?
I, we can
Can
hear
you
you
hear me
now.
now?
Yes.
Am I on now? Okay, I saw that it wasn't connecting. So I encourage us to have at least 1 or 2 fruit crops, no matter how bad. You can plant fruit crops in very big baskets, especially pawpaw. Pawpaw is not really deep rooted, so we should try to have a fruit crop in our home where we get fruits. Then yes, so even aside agriculture, yes, I wanted to say that aside agriculture, from all of these things that we have mentioned, if you can decide to say, okay, I don't want to keep planting. I just want to plant for myself, but I want to make organic compost for sale. People pack organic compost, people pack neem juice. In fact, some people make neem oil is even very expensive. They will tell you 200 mils is 1,000 naira. You can decide to be doing that. Okay, you just tell them beforehand, I make neem, I make pesticide, organic pesticide, no, not a chemical one. If you're interested in buying, just tell me 3 days before. You can decide to do that. It's still an effort towards having a sustainable environment, towards having sustainable agriculture. So these are real stories from people where you can learn from to practice agriculture sustainably, to help the ecosystem, to give back to the soil, not just taking from it. And I would encourage us to practice and to have it in mind to begin something, at least towards encouraging a eco-friendly environment, Abby, towards practicing eco-friendly agriculture. So thank you, and Jazakumullah khairan for the opportunity. Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Can you hear me?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much. I want to
Can
taste
you hear
that
me now?
ugu. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay, so I
me?
rounded up already. You get that part?
Yes, yes, I got that part as well. Shema said ugu siwa.
No, don't
Thank you.
worry, you. Don't worry. I'm going to send sibling, Emma worry. Sibling, what? Love for you.
No problem, no problem. We'll definitely reach out to you if we need those things
Yeah,
or
it's
recommend
okay.
people to you as well. Zakula Khairan
No,
Ma.
I'm too
People,
pleasure.
Sister Zainab is your go-to for crops and seedlings and consultation.
Consultation
So,
specific. I give out my seedlings, so like I'm not doing it for.
oh,
But
okay,
if you
okay,
want me to do it, you have to inform me beforehand. Maybe
okay.
something like.
So you see, get consultation and get free seedling. Do we share she machine
Abi
come
o.
for come and collect free
Or
seedlings.
come and let me set up your own garden, and
Yes,
you
yes.
get
So that
free
you're not
seeds.
just collecting it and wasting the seedlings because those seedlings
Yes,
too takes
yes.
intentionality to nurture them to that way that you're sure that they might be still a evening la di or ding
Yeah.
ding. So
Yeah.
Jazakallah Khairan for joining us. People, see you soon for the next session. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.